one of the most renowned education system in the world. And as I said, we have a very great panel with us today. So let me first introduce our today's panel. And so our today's panel is Mr. Rachit Dhawan, Campus France Manager, New Delhi, Ms. Hang, International Development Manager, IFIB School of Digital Engineering. We have Ms. Estelle, International Program Coordinator from IPSA, Aeronautical and Space System Engineering School. We have a special guest, Mr. Matthew from Neoma Business School. We have Mr. Shekhar, Country Manager from Neoma Business School. We have Mr. Jitnesh Mishra, International Relations Manager from Joining Campus. And of course, you have me, Branch Manager, Joining Campus. So let us start our today's webinar with the opening remarks from our all panelists. And I would request Mr. Rachit first to have his opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Avni. That was a very good introduction for all the panelists. And indeed, we're very happy to join you together for this interesting webinar, whatever we could bring together about France in general, about the higher education system in France, and also enlighten our viewers a lot about what is the current situation in place, because I'm sure there are a lot of questions in everyone's minds and whether students can go this year or not. And it's great because this is also a very good platform for us to tell you about the positive efforts being made by every school in France and how strong and strongly motivated they are to welcome students this year. So it's really a very good platform indeed. And I think as we move ahead with the discussion, we'll highlight a lot of things that are in place, what we can expect in the coming months, and what could be really a possibility to help everyone through, help the students who would like to go to France this year, and what the French government is really preparing for international students. I think all of us we have an idea about things that the French government did declare that international students would be given priority whenever the visa services open up. So we'll talk a lot more in detail when things open up, but Indian students can at least know this, that whenever these services are up, they will be given top priority and they will be able to go for their session in September. We just have to wait it out, but I think we'll proceed as we proceed with the session. We can discuss this a bit more ahead. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rachit. I would request Mr. Matthew to please have his opening remarks.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. Hello. So yes, my name is Matthew Coton, Director of the Admissions and International Recruitment at Neoma. In our school, we value a lot our international students. We think it's a very enriching experience to have an international faculty in front of international students, alongside, of course, our French and what we call local students. So it's for us very important, and we are very happy to have among our students a lot of Indian candidates, Indian students from all over India. And we wanted to continue because you are part of what's make the business school a great experience overall and make it a very global experience. So we are very happy to recruit a lot of international students, and we wanted to continue. This year is special, but we still have a lot of demands and a lot of students coming this fall. And yes, very happy to be there today to talk to you about France and about business school, of course, too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew. I would request Mr. Shekhar to please have his opening remarks.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be part of this session. We are thankful for everyone who is here to be part of this program, and we are here to share all the information regards to studying in France. And as we already shared, that we will be talking about different situations on this virus, how the school is handling, how we are assisting students in this recruitment process. We will help you out with all these queries too during this. And thank you again to give this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhar. I would request Ms. Estelle to have her opening remarks, please.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Estelle, the representative for IPSA, the Institute of Polytechnic Science and Aeronautics. And I'm very glad to be here to talk about how studying in France is a great opportunity for international students. And as France is very open to welcome international students and IPSA as well, we are still welcoming a lot of students for exchange and degree-seeking programs. And we have great relations with India, and some students are planning to come, and we hope to welcome more. Thank you.
Thank you. I request Ms. Haim to please have her opening remarks.
Hello, everybody. I am Han Sun. I'm International Development Manager at EZ. So I'm taking in charge of international student recruitment, and I'm also work with different universities for the partnership. So today, thank you once again for joining campus, invite me to join this panel discussion. So ESEP is an engineering graduate school in digital domain. So every year we recruit Indian bachelor holders to join. For sure, they have to have a bachelor degree which is related in digital domain, for example, telecommunication, electronics, computer science, and etc. So this year, I know it's a special year. It's not only for Indian students, it's for all the international students. So I would like to take this opportunity to ensure all the students that we are ready to offer a very flexible program to ensure your arrival in France and arrival in EZ. And please feel free to ask any questions. I'm here, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I request Mr. Mishra to please have his opening remarks.
Yeah, so thank you, Avni and team, for organizing this this event. My opening remark is especially for our attendees that they are here and they would like to understand what is the situation, what are the benefits of studying in France. And this webinar is definitely special for us because we have top 3 schools of France. And from the different background, it's not only business or not engineering or not any other, but all 3 different backgrounds. So that is amazing. And yes, like joining campus has been working for them. Like for example, ISEP for last 12 years. So we will be happy to share this kind of, information about studies in France to our attendees. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. So let's proceed towards our panel discussion. And my first question for today's discussion goes to Mr. Rachit from Campus France. And my first question is, are Campus France offices operational these days, and what are the guidelines to be followed by the students?
Thank you, Avni, for your question. Indeed, so, when the pandemic did hit India and when everybody did go into a different mode, the French Embassy and the French Network in India, the French Institute in India, and all the Campus France offices in India, we have about 14 offices for the moment. We all went into a work from home mode. So we were operational throughout. I mean, we were reachable for students, but as you know, all of us had to have developed new means to communicate with people and sort of also find out different ways to reach out to our students as well. We have been reachable and occasional or through digital means. So there are different digital means people can use and still interact with us. But the Campus France offices remain open virtually. So definitely students have concerns about creating their application or starting their process or being prepared with the documents, finding accommodation or other things. They can always reach out to us for these things across. However, as you said, what's the situation for the visas? And that's a question of grave concern for a lot of students. For visas, for the moment, they remain suspended in India because France opened for a handful of countries at first, and India is not yet on the list. But we remain very positive and hopeful that it will be soon, as the French government declared that the visas for international students who would like to join the session in September, we would be providing them on priority. So that would definitely be a priority, but it's a test of time because in India, the surge in cases has not dropped. Our curve continues to increase every year, every day, and it's really it's quite something to be careful about and to also keep in mind that we practice good hygiene and good practices. So we are trying to devise a strategy that we can open our offices across to the students, invite them for document verification, do other things, the other procedures as well for campus fronts, and to open VFS fronts eventually, which will also be able to take in applications. But till that time, we wait. I mean, that is the inevitable because especially cases in big cities like Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, we have to be very careful. And these are our big cities where maximum these applications are processed from. So it's a question of grave concern. But if students have questions about higher education in France, mobility, finding institutions, programs, if they want to know about the various scholarship options that they have from the French government's perspective, they can always reach out to the nearest campus France office in India, and we're happy to help them through digital means. We're happy to meet them on one of the platforms that we can use for.
Okay, like we have news today in Economic Times announced by our aviation minister. Okay, so are there any updates for VFS opening soon in regards to this?
Yes, so if that is the rule that we go by. If there are flights between India, will also be visa services. That is the rule that, what we follow in the European Union as well. And the understanding to this is that visas will only open up once there would be flights. So it's a lot about the ministry now. If they really are keen and they do not, push the date ahead anymore, it should be on time. And if that happens, VFS France would also open at the same point of time. So students will be able to apply for the visas.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so my next question is for Mr. Matthew. When we say France has one of the best education system in the world, can you please let us know how NEOMA helps students to cope up with future industry requirements?
Yes. I mean, so I will talk about the business school system and what we use, how it works in France. So actually, right now in France, there is different streams to go into business school, each having different pros and cons. But at NEOMA, we have a lot of students. So the majority of the students do the Grande École program, the Master in Management, the one, the most famous one, I would say. So for them, we have students who come from a very French preparatory courses stream. So it's people who have done most of them 2 years, but some 3 years of very, very intensive preparatory courses to go through an exam that is like a national exam. It's I would say it's comparable to what you do in India with a GEE or the advanced GEE. If I'm not mistaken. So these people prepare 2 years after high school to go in this very competitive national exam, and they go then through the Grande École program. We also have people right now who do a bachelor program in university, and that comes later to do this master in management. So it's still very competitive because they have to. There is more students and not a lot of spots all the time. And we have people coming right now. It's a trend in France to go to be more aligned with the rest of the world and also proposing bachelor's program in but very interesting international customizable bachelor program. So it's interesting to see it from a distance and through the years, because it shows also France being like an excellence format, an excellence educational system for higher education, but also being able to adapt. And all the schools right now in France have found ways to combine people doing bachelor with their specific profiles to still have this very excellent stream of people going to the master in management and do 2 to 3 years there, and to combine all together to have a vivid global business school with a global student body, and have all the people, mixing and making the most of the experience during the overall program. So yes, this is something that I really like. And the same way, like, you look at the structure of a master in management. So you do 2 years, 1 year being, business fundamentals, second year being more specialization. And in the middle, you have this option to be a gap year. So when it was like a long time ago, the gap year was mandatory because we had the students from preparatory courses who had no experience. So that's why the format to have 1 year gap year specialization being created for the business school in France and being something very classic. And at the same way, it became also a competitive advantage because a lot of students, international too, saw the potential of having this gap year in a business school, to have this year between, you know, fundamentals and basics and specialization, to do two very different things. One being, you know, exploring, which is something that is possible actually in a business school. You can explore and make sure that what you want to do in life is marketing, because you could be at a point of your life when you know you want to do business, but you're not sure whether you want to do finance, marketing, and so on. So you can either explore, or you can also just, you're sure you want finance, and you can also straighten your resume and make it, you know, to do finance and to internship in finance. But also because we know some of our students coming from international background have some experience. And I know we have students from India with 1 or 2 years of work experience, very common, but you're not the only country like that. We have people from Germany who do a gap year, and it's very common for them between bachelor and masters. We have in Italy, it's the same, and we also have students from Latin America with a year of work experience. So we will also be able to adapt and to propose to people who still want the basics and specialization, the 2 years format.
So Matthew, I have a question here.
Sure.
Though we have space engineering school and IT engineering schools, but my question is to a business school, that when Avni is talking about renowned and elite schools all around the world, and I see France has the maximum number of top business schools in the world. All right. Even if we see triple accredited schools, I guess, if I'm not wrong, more than 50% school are French, right? So can you say me what is the beauty about? So how is it possible?
I think it's because very soon in France, we realized that it was important for our format that was very, not old school and or old fashioned, but, you know, it was, I don't know how to say it. Like, basically, we had the same format for a number of years about excellence, selectivity, and things like that. And it's been a long time, actually, that business school discovered that they were proposing to excellent students excellent curriculum, but they needed something else. They needed the international dimension. They realized very soon that it was very, very important. Not just important as a way to give a better experience to the French student, but just to be a better business school altogether. And the transformation was very soon. If you look at some of the industry in France that could have start to become global later, in France it was discovered. It was very soon that the business school started to want to propose, you know, international and global experience, but also to have international students, to have international body. And through that, they started also to want to have the accreditation, to also being able to prove to their students from all over the world, to prove they are ready, they are good schools, they have a good experience. And this 1,020 or more than 1,000 very good business schools that we have in France that are global. Right now, they also have the, you know, the accreditation to prove that. And I think it was very interesting to see that very soon, very early, the business school realized that, and realized that both they needed people, they needed international, I would say, input with an international faculty, international students, but they will be also able to give a great experience for the student, but also to give the international student a great experience because of their history of teaching to very good students all the topics, and to have been trained and to have a long-lasting experience of teaching people who were not business school students, not only people coming from, I have a BBA, I continue master in management. And that is one of, I think, the big success of the master in management. It's because the students from preparatory courses, they had no business experience. The business school in France, they are ready with their Master in Management program Grande École to welcome students with business background, BBAs, and they will help them to go further, but also to teach people from engineering, medical, and law background to teach them business and to help them to switch to business while having a double, double kind of degree, double expertise, which is, I think, very, very important and great for career purposes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Avni, you are mute.
Sorry. Yes. My next question is for Ms. Estelle. As a representative of IPSA, can you please share with us the measures taken by your school to welcome international students in September 2020?
Yes, sure. Well, in these difficult times, we had to show, like all French school, a lot of flexibility in order to be able to still welcome international students in our school. So first, we decided for international students to be more available to respond quickly to their inquiries and often to call them to explain them how the situation was in France. And we also extended the application deadline, and we gave more time to students to provide the papers in order to apply. And well, logistically speaking, in the building we have taken a lot of measures, sanitary measures. Like inside the building, we have now hydroalcoholic gel dispensers. We have circulation path, and the classroom will be half filled in order that students are not too close to each other, not to spread the virus again. And so same as last semester, the next semester from September 2020, the courses will be taught online. Not all of them though, because as an engineering school, the practical courses are very important. So there will be practical courses taught at the school. However, it will be like half groups, again, in order to respect the social distance in classrooms. And then we are used to welcome international teachers from our partner universities, for example, from Arizona University or from Bremen University in Germany, or again from Polytechnic Madrid, and they are used to come to teach our students some courses, but unfortunately they cannot come. But we found a way so that they can still give the courses online to our teachers, just to maintain this international path. And it's very important both for French students and international students to have French teachers present, but also international teachers online. And then, yes, we, as usual, we are very flexible, but we had to be more flexible to welcome, to give great support for international students, because it's very difficult to come to a new country and to adapt, and it's more difficult in this period. So we are very ready to help them, and this is it, flexibility.
Okay, so as you said, like, you are going to have hybrid classes, right? Like few classes are going to be online and few will be on campus. So can you please explain a little bit more on that?
Sure. So the online courses, so we will make, like, students, for example, during 2 days, they will have to be on campus to be able to follow courses, and then the 3 more days they can stay at home and follow courses online. We have the courses are given through Teams, and the teachers now, because from March now we give online courses, so the teachers are very used to it now. So only the practical courses, some theoretical courses as well, and the exam will take place at IPSA, but the rest will be online from home. And because we are getting used to it now, I'm sure that we are very ready for this. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so my next question is for Ms. Heng. And the question is, ISEB is highly ranked amongst the engineering schools in France. So can you please share the information related to employment rate, international exposure, job opportunities, and average salary after graduation that students get?
Yes, so first of all, I would like to share the survey result which we have conducted last year. So our graduates on 2019, they have an average salary of about 44,391 euros. This is the average salary. And for our graduates, they can find a job after graduation within 3 months. And majority of our graduates, they work in lead posts, so in Paris region. And certain students, they work in overseas or in other big cities in France, for example, Toulouse, Lyon, Montpellier, and other big cities in France. But the majority of our graduates, they stay in Paris region. And maybe some of you know that actually we have 2 campuses. We have the first campus located in the 16th street of Paris, which is near the Luxembourg Park and Montparnasse Tower. And we have the second campus, which is located in Issy-les-Moulineaux. This city is considered as a smart city. So we have a lot of advantage for our students to look for internship. This is because a lot of technological companies are located in this area, such as Cisco, Orange, Canal Plus, French Television, Huawei technological companies, they all located in this area. So as we are a digital engineering graduate school, so for our graduate students, they, according to the French engineering education system, they have to do a final year internship. It's a 6-month internship. Thanks to our location, so many of our students, they can find final year internship in this region. And after the internship, normally, if let's say they have good performance during their stay in the company, normally they can find a job easily. And another thing is for telecommunication domain, electronic domain, and artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, in recent years is a hot topic. I believe it's not only in France, it's all over the world. So students from these majors, they can relatively easy to find an internship opportunity or job opportunities in recent years. And for our master program, for the moment, we offer 3 programs fully taught in English: embedded systems, software engineering, telecommunication, and IoT systems. These 3 majors, they have good job market too. And for our graduates, they have different options. They can, when they obtain the engineering degree diploma engineer, they can stay in France to look for a job opportunity. And we have more than 10 double degree programs. So if let's say student, they would like to continue for another double degree, there is a possibility if let's say they have good academic performance. Another way is if let's say student, they have excellent academic performance, if there's in our laboratory, if there is a vacancy, they can apply for a PhD program too. Yes, so this is regarding our job placement, regarding our average salary. I don't know if let's see you have anything to ask, I can add on also. Yeah. Amani, I think you are mute. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So my next question is for Mr. Mishra. Yes, as you are part of many international communities in France, and you have a good network of experts. How are you dealing with COVID situation now? How are they dealing with COVID situation now?
Yes, so certainly I'm in touch with a lot of people from India and from other parts of the world. What I usually come to know from almost end of May was, I guess in mid of May, they announced that lockdown is eased, all right. But if I say today's situation, everything is open. if I say about my friends or my colleagues, they are in their office right now. Everything is normal. Cafes are open, museums are open, and people can go for their vacations. Of course, they would still prefer to not to travel. They would prefer not to travel longer, but they can enjoy in France and so on. So I think the life is back to normal now with some precautions. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question is for Mr. Shekhar. And it's only 1.5% business school in the world enjoys the privilege of being triple crown, and Neoma Business School is one of them. So, can you please explain how this triple accreditation helps students to be distinguished?
Yes, first of all, thank you very much. First of all, Neoma Business School, as Matthew already explained, is one of the grande école. In France, we have a system of grande école. That means, if we translate this in English, that means a big school, a prestigious school. Now, when we use the word prestige, that means student should know that he is coming to one of the best school, and he is assured to get quality education. That's one of the things. Adding to this, when we talk about triple accreditation, these accreditations are not the permanent accreditation. That means we have to renew this accreditation with certain period of time. So there are audit done by this accreditation. So the triple accreditation are AMBA, CSB, and EQUIS. So at certain period of time, there are audits done by these organizations who come to our school, who verifies the quality of education, quality of the school, the facilities, campus, student experience. There are many different criterias that they have. Those has to be satisfied to have those accreditations. And we have had these accreditations for a while. That means we are a quality school. So once you come to us, you are assured to have international experience. That's one of the things. We have 100 nationalities on campus. That is huge. That is huge in terms of international experience. Apart from that, the quality of the professors. So when you are following courses, you are interacting with someone who has very good knowledge on those subjects. Okay, that is one more thing. And also student coming for an exchange. So students coming from other universities to us to study. So you also experience different culture when you come to us. And one more thing is you learn French. As far as we have also very good employment statistic because of the reputation and the quality of the school that helps students to foresee their career. So when students in general in India, they ask, what about the job opportunities after the completion of the program? What I tell students, when we say job opportunities, the second word is opportunities. That means it's not only the jobs that you see on the job portal or something like that. One has to create an opportunity. One has to go beyond and also contact companies who they know they are interested in and see and find an opportunity. And I'm sure there are ample of opportunities. Apart from that, careers is concerned, we have a career portal on which there are 25,000 offers, including jobs and internship, which students can refer to once they are part of the school. And we also have 37 career counselors to guide them on CV, motivation letter, preparation for interviews. So together we are here to help students to build their career. Apart from all this, we are also very well known for entrepreneurship. We have our own startup labs. We have our own incubator system. So students can also create their own company. We help them to create their company. They can take counseling from our teams. And that's where, so globally, this not only triple accreditation, but together grande école, triple accreditation, and high rank of the school together helps very much to students in terms of their career.
Yeah, so even I want to add one thing, because recently means before lockdown I was in Neoma, so I like something very much was innovative ideas for student engagements, and I don't know if it is still there or not. Matthew is there, so Matthew will probably say me yes or not. I saw a booth where students could it was like a car, small car in the reception area, and student can study there. Is it still there, Matthew?
Yes, it's still there. Actually, the camp right now, the campus is close to students. But as you said, that is true that right now in France everything reopened. It was just not worth reopening and the entire school for a few weeks. But all the teams, and actually we don't do a team. We're not working from home anymore. I mean, for Neoma, we're all working on the campuses. And yes, the booth is still there, still working, and still high demand from our students that love to have, inside the school somewhere, soundproof to work together. And they can be, it's something for 4 to 5 students to work together, like a very small, student group space that exists here. It's actually very used. And we have another one that is like a bubble that I don't know if you saw this one. It was next to the library.
And there was a van as well.
It's also pretty. It's part of our school to try new things and to make sure that all these new things we try is always to go in one direction, in student satisfaction. But being able to give the best services to our students, like the career services, Shika mentioned, it's not only just to have great figures, but to have student satisfaction, to have students that love that they are here, that want to stay for as long as possible, and to refer us to their friends, of course. But it's really to have very, very good student satisfaction. It's very important, and this is not always something you can see with the accreditation, but something you can see speaking to our alumni and speaking to current students, of course.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
One more thing I missed out adding on this, you were talking about innovation. We use a VR technology in our classroom. So we are the first ones to introduce them. So students follow the classroom with a VR lens, and it's amazing experience in talking about innovation. One more thing, apart from study experience, it is also important about the social life for students. We have different associations in our school. We have around 80 association. It can be anything. There are different clubs that we have. When I say association, where it can be something to do with sports, something to do with arts, something to do with career. So there are different clubs, and in one of the unique thing that we also do is honey conservation, honey production on our campus. So we are trying to conserve this. So social and also social environment and also cultural environment it is equally important for us to as a student life experience. For us, student is not all about studies, but also to discover different cultures and really have a great experience when you come to us. And as we say, join the family. That means it is really one student comes to us, they really see this bonding, and that's why we say join the family. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shrikant. Yeah. So my next question is for Ms. Estil. As IPSA claims to be a specialist school in the sector of aeronautical and space system engineering, can you please elaborate this with the activities carried on by the school in regard to this?
Yes, sure. Let me explain to you how IPSA is a specialist school and how we train specialists as well as students who become specialists in their area. So every year we attract more and more young students as we offer an aeronautics and space dimension from the very beginning of the course. And this aeronautics and space dimension, it's evolving over the years. And now regarding the pedagogical principle, the student is at the center of a training process, and he has to make choices at multiple levels. and mainly about the courses he wants to follow, the engineering courses, because we believe that the student is an actor of his training, and he has to choose technological majors during his the engineering cycle. And we allow him to individualize his course and to obtain an expertise in the field of his choice related to aeronautics always. And we have a problem-oriented and project-oriented teaching, and the students they are part of many projects during their studies at IPSA. So they have a lot of team projects through the curriculum. I'm not going through the details, but so projects inside of the curriculum, but also projects inside of part of the associations, because we have about 40 student associations, and the associative projects, they reveal the passionate side of our students. And we, like, some of them are building flight simulator, part of drones, they are building nano satellites, but also other associations like sports related or arts, just to broaden their minds. And also our students, they are taking parts in many aeronautic events happening in France and all over the world, like aero gatherings. We also have a special weeks dedicated to flying, and the students, they are really enjoying this. So everything is related to aeronautics.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, at the end of the curriculum, the students, they have the title of engineer of IPSA, and it's recognized by the CTI, which is the French Engineering Commission. And it's this diploma positions the students as able to address any problem related to air and space. They acquire generalist knowledge, but specialized skills in the fields of aeronautics and space. And yes, but they are also able to work in similar fields such as sea transports or land transports, because the technologies used are similar. So this is it. Yes, students are very able to work. They have really good skills when they leave IPSA. And also we have a strong links with strong relationships with actors in the aerospace sector in France, in Europe. And we are always maintaining this relationship just to make sure that our training is matching the needs of the future needs of these companies. So we have every 2 years we make a big survey asking the 200 companies in France about what their needs will be, and according to what we know about the needs of the companies, the future needs, we adapt our curriculum. So that's just to make sure that our students will always be able to tackle any problem in the aerospace area.
So Estelle, I have a question here, that when you are in an aeronautical engineering school, do your students have a chance to do an internship or jobs even in Airbus or Boeing or somewhere?
Sure. The internships, they are compulsory. Like, for example, the first year of a master, there is a 2 to 3 month compulsory internship that they have to do. And also during the master, the last semester of the master is like 6 month internship. And most of the time during this last internship, our students, they find their first job. And I do not have a list of where alumni work now, but we have a lot of them going to companies such as Airbus or yes, I can't remember now, but yes. And also we have another campus in Toulouse, and Toulouse is the city where most aeronautics companies are, and most of our students, they do the internship there because it's the place to be.
Superb. All right, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay. So my next question is for Ms. Hang. Being a student at ISEP, what are the facilities they get?
So maybe we can classify in different category. For example, for the laboratory part, we have electronic laboratory, for example, with a partner with Texas Instruments. And we provide IT information technology laboratories also. And for the student activities, for example, we have more than 35 student associations. So there is a space dedicated for student associations. Regarding the sport facilities, as you know, we do not have a giant campus like universities, but we do provide free table tennis area. We do have volleyball net, free for students to use. We do have certain sport facilities to provide to our students. And we are a partnership with a student gym, and they can have a special membership. And our students, they can do some trainings in the sport gym. And what else I can add on? Yes, we do have, for students who would like to launch their own startup companies, we have incubators, our own incubators. So for students who have excellent idea for an innovative project, so they can do, if let's say it's approved by a professor, it's very, have a very solid business plan, and they have very solid technical background, and they have the opportunity to do their project in our innovator. Yes.
Yeah, I have something to share to my attendees here, Avni and the team panelists, that I have a good attachment with ISEP. And yeah, you will ask management. So I was a student, so management student, ISEP, there is no match. But yes, in 2005, we were we were in the hostel, and I was the only MBA student, and rest all were them from ISEP. Right. So even today, when we have a WhatsApp group of friends, all are ISEP students. But what I would like to say is, since 2005, what I have noticed, all those students are highly successful in their area. Some of them are in France, or I can say 70% of them are in France, other are in part of the world. Many of them have started their business in France, in IT, software solutions, and some are in a great position in project management. So I have a really good example of, I can say, hundreds of students from ISEP who I can say, if I have been in touch with 100 students, all of them are successful, 100% successful. And with a good salary, is good, with good internships and all. I remember one more thing, that one of my friend who was in ISEP, who wanted to study, who was offered a job before internship, all right. But definitely ISEP did not agree on that you have to finish your internship and then you should start your job. I don't mind saying his name, Roshan Patel, my very good friend, got a job, but then he had to start as an intern with a low salary for sure, and then he continued the same company. So yeah, thanks to ISEP for brightening future of many students. Hang, I could not hear you.
Hear me now? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing this excellent experience with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, of course, my last question from my side, of course, is for Mr. Rachid. And the question is like, what is the visa situation now in India for Campus France, and what kind of support students can expect from Campus France?
Thank you, Avni. So for the moment, we have a partial procedure in place. So anyone who's looking to apply for a long stay visa has to do an academic interview at Campus France, proceed ahead with their visa application. So for the moment, students can do the academic interview online with us, since I mentioned we've moved to a work from home mode. So the procedure is entirely online. They can create their file on the system and to have everything in place, keep it ready, do an interview with us online as well. And when the visa services are in place, they would just have to go to VFS and submit their documents in person, give their biometrics and other things across. And the major part of the interview procedure that would have been already done by us online. So we're trying to use the time very much in place. Considering, whenever the services do open and, students wanting to go, as I mentioned, this applications will be processed on priority. So we expect to deliver the visas very quickly as well. And let's hope flights open up, and the aviation industry is really waiting for this to happen, and lots of students waiting to go. So we're really hoping they can indeed travel towards the end of the month and join the sessions in September.
Okay, so thank you very much. And yes, I am done with my question for the webinar for all the panelists. And yes, I open up the floor for my attendees to ask their questions. You can write your questions in the chat box, and of course, panelists will be more than happy to answer your questions. So please.
Sorry, Avani, just one second. I'm very sorry, I have to leave. It was a pleasure to be with you all today. Sorry to, to interrupt you. Shekhar will be there to help you answer all your questions regarding Neoma. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and we'll be very happy to see you in France to continue your studies. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Yes, so please write your questions, whatever questions you have in the chat box, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions. And yes, we were live on Facebook, and I am happy to share the information. Like we had more than 300 viewers who were viewing this session. And we do have a questions from Facebook also. So yes, I will very soon be getting a question from Facebook. So before that, I would like to have a question from the attendees first. So please let me know if you have any questions, and do let me know like to whom you would like to address the question.
I think by the time we can start with the Facebook question.
Okay, so I have a Facebook Live question, and the question is like, what are the employment prospects after getting a French degree across the globe? So this is the question I am having from our Facebook viewers. So it is open, like whosoever would like to answer the question, please. Yes. Mr. Shekhar, would you like to answer the question?
Yeah, yes. Regarding employment opportunities, first of all, mostly all our programs has internship as at the end of the program. So yes, students are supposed to do internship in order to graduate. That gives them already an exposure or experience, and most of the students they go for international exposure, going either staying in France or going abroad. So there is also sometimes misconception or misunderstanding that coming to France only doing internship in France. No, internship can be done in any part of the world, in any country. So that yes, that is possible. Another question student that have is about our internship paid. So the internship can be paid or not paid. It depends on the country and the company. If the internship is in France, yes, the internships will be paid. So really it depends on the company and the country regulation. Like for example, in India, we can have unpaid internship. It is possible. So, but yes, from my understanding, most of them, they get paid. Okay, that's the general understanding. That's one of the things. And about the employment opportunities, yes, most of the programs, the master program gives them opportunity to have a stay back in France 2 years after completion of the programs. Now, for me, 2 years is too long. Normally, a student should be able to have an opportunity few months from the after the completion of the program. With us, we have like around 80 to 90% of employment rate within 3 months of completion of the program. It can go to almost 100% from 6 months of completion of the program. So a lot of students say, my friend told he could not find opportunity, or he studied in France, but French was a problem. So as I already said, yes, if you want to work in France, it would be good to know French. There is no written rule on that. You should have A1, B2, B1, B2. No, there is no written rule. Better you know French, better it helps you to find an opportunity in France. But do not limit yourself to France. As I said, you can work in any part of the world. You can work also experience different culture by going to another country. But yes, if you want to work in France, you should start learning French as soon as possible. It's one of the things. Apart from that, we have huge alumni networks. With Neoma, we have 60,000 alumni members. So there is an alumni portal to which students have access to once they graduate. So where there are also employment opportunities on alumni portal. Apart from that, students can connect to alumni also on LinkedIn. They benefit to understand where our alumni are, and definitely they can explore opportunities by contacting them. Our alumni are in 120 countries around the world. That means normally, no matter where you go, you should find an Neoma alumni. So that's the kind of experience that you get with us. And again, one more thing that we spoke about, the quality of education and quality of education that you get with us. One most important thing students should understand, that the job comes after the program. So he should not stress during the program. They should follow the program. And if you follow the program, you will get experience. You will get the level of maturity that you will be able to find the job more easily by following the program. That was my.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So we have one more question coming up in the chat box privately, and the question is like, will there be any effect on the internships and job opportunities due to this COVID situation? Yes. So Miss Estelle, can you
Yes,
please
sure.
answer this?
Yes, this was, so we at IPSA, we have specialized departments they are specialized in connection with our companies, and also helping our students to find internship. And this was very, very strong, because at the beginning of the crisis, many companies decided to cancel the internships that were supposed to happen for the summer. So again, we had to show a lot of flexibility. So for students in first year of master who could not find an internship, we offered them to do group projects with teachers, and or sometimes also links with laboratories or companies. So they can still work on a subject, and they still have to produce a report, and this will give them credits. So this is still a great experience, because they have, during the summer, they have to broaden their studies on the field that they are really interested to. So this was for first year of master. And for the second year of master, fortunately, so some students, they had to postpone the internship, but or to shorten it sometimes. But most of them, they still found, they were still able to do the internships. And same for, because some of our students, they are going to double diploma, and they were still able to do some things online. And many companies, they adapted also to do for the internship it was able to be done online with a company. So it was very flexible and very successful for many students. And still many students, they were, because usually we have like 92% of our students within 6 months after graduation, they are finding their first job. Also often thanks to this 6-month internship. So we do not have the percentage yet, but we are very confident that many students, they are still creating great links with companies, and they will find a job without so much problem. But we are always emphasizing on internship because it's very important to create some professional experience during your studies.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Mr. Rachit, like when BFS will open for document and biometric submission?
$1 million question. We're waiting instructions from Paris. So soon, we're really hoping soon, but we have to wait. Okay. So maybe we can expect in a few weeks, maybe it will open up. But it is being discussed in at the ministry in Paris for the moment. And maybe there'll be an update very soon. But you have to wait. I mean, there is no clear date set out yet. As I said, it directly depends on whether flights resume in India or not. That is what VFS bases it, their logic on, that they should open the offices or not. So let's hope, flights do come back very soon, and just as they do, VFS France will also be back.
Okay, and there is one more question for you, like how long is work visa once you get the work visa? Like how long it is valid?
So as Shekhar mentioned very well, that in France, there's something called the post-study visa, which is given on a 1+1 basis to Indian students. So that means 2 years. But he very well pointed it out that very rarely students get to use it all the way up to the 2 years. A lot of them manage to find very good, like full-time employment in a few months itself, and they're able to convert the visa across. But yes, if you ask about how the work permit works, it is given to you based on the contract you've been assigned. If your employer gives you a contract which has a validity of a year, your permit will be valid for a year. If it's a contract which does not have a determined period, it's a CDI contract, it could be for a longer duration as well. So it really depends, based on the contract you receive for the job you wish to do in France.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to add one point of this. A lot of students have a notion of calling post-study work visa. I'm sorry. Please make the correction and please inform all your partners. It's not a post-study work visa that you get after the completion of the program. It's called as APS. In French, it is Autorisation Provisoire de Séjour. If I translate this directly in English, that is temporary resident permit. Now, this permit after the completion of the program, it does not allow you to work full-time. It's not a post-study work visa. It's a temporary resident permit which allows you to stay in France and look for job. And the company will give you job where only if they know that they are going to sponsor you and you will have a proper work visa. You can only start going and working with the company once you have the work visa, which is separate, which is different from that of APS. Now, what can you do during this APS period is that, yes, definitely you can stay in France and you have right to work approximately 20 hours a week, which you can also do during the student life. Now, many students also talk about part-time work. Just to give you more insight on this, the programs that we propose are full-time programs. The schedule is very busy. Apart from the courses that you're following, you have project work, you have case studies to do apart from the classes, as I said. And plus, you need time to socialize because you are in another country. You need to make friends, you need to go out, you need to learn French, a lot of things to do. So there is very less time to do part-time work. I'm not saying it is impossible, but yes, you need to work hard to do that, to do the part-time work.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Ms. Hang. Like, what are the statistics for a student to get a job who is prominent in French rather than the one who is not?
I would like to re-clarify the question. They would like to know the percentage of how many students they can find a job after their graduation. And
no, like what is the statistics, like, if a student is well versed in French language, like what is the statistic of getting a job for a student who is well known, who is well aware about the French language rather than a student who is not well aware about the language?
The language barrier is it for the job market? Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, for all the international students who would like to continue their further study in engineering school in France, by the CTI, as my colleague Estelle, she has mentioned about CTI is a French engineering committee. They require the students who are willing to receive a diploma or engineering graduate degree, they have to achieve certain French proficiency level. And for example, they have to pass a DELF test, receive B1, and at least B1 or B2 level. So for students who will stay with us for 2 years, we will provide French classes each week. So they will have French classes during their stay, and they have to meet certain standard before their graduation. So this is for the French language part. Even our program is fully taught in English. Another thing is, yes, for how to say, there are different types of companies. For example, for international companies, for sure they accept students, not student candidates who speak English, who speak, I mean, if let's say they are multilingual, this is a plus for them. For example, if they speak Hindi, they speak English, they speak French, it will be a plus for them. And for certain PME, it means some small structure or middle-sized companies, maybe they are prefers the candidates who are, I mean, they have good French proficiency level. So it's really depends on what kind of company you will join. If let's say it's a startup, maybe they have a lot of tolerance. That means as long as you have good technological background and you can mirror to this kind of company. So it's really depends on yourself. Many digital companies, IT consulting companies like Accenture, like Capgemini, I think they are quite open. If let's say you prefer to speak English and work a lot of international projects, they will have different engineers from different countries. I think the work language could be English. So it's really dependent on the company. And once again, French language is important to obtain a French engineering graduate degree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I will go with one last question for Mr. Rajit. Like, as you said, that interview is going to be online right now, as the campus runs offices are not yet open. So the question is like how students they are going to get NOC.
Because the NOC is related directly with the VFS procedure and we cannot meet you in person, that's the whole idea. To give you the NOC, we need to see your original documents. So the NOC procedure will only open when VFS France opens at the same time. So we'll coordinate it in a way, but students who have already done an interview, I mean, they will be informed as to when they can come and collect their NOC and get their original documents checked. We do not want to hurry on this note because it is quite a big risk. We cannot risk infecting each other, and we cannot, invite you to a place which is also not comfortable and risky for you as well. So we want to wait it out. But yes, it will open up at the same time as VFS France, maybe a few days before, and it will all be planned in that manner. So you can reach out to your campus front space, and they can help you understand, when would be the right time to invite you on board. But yeah, we have to wait. It's difficult to meet people. That's the whole question of this, this COVID-19 situation we have. So we have to be careful, of course, but we'll invite you on board when things look a bit better, and we open in VFS France as well.
Okay.
So Rachit, I have a question here that how prepared are you for NOC situation? Because once things are open, let's say your office is open, and at that time you probably have 1,000 NOC to issue, right? So
we hope, we really hope there are that many students going to France this year.
Yeah.
But yes, in New Delhi, I'm sure that it could be a possibility that way. But yeah, we'll still not have a contact with the student. We'll be able to invite you, but we still will have barriers between us and the student, and will not probably be, hands or speaking directly that way. So there will be things between us, of course. And the documents will, of course, paper is something we cannot sanitize, I mean, for obvious reasons. And so when a student comes, you only display and show us your original documents. We do not take them from you, and we do not, that way you're also in a secure way. And it's also safe for us as well. But these practices will be put in place in every city, and you will only be allowed at one particular point, so there'll not be any crowding of any students. A certain time slot, you come at that particular time slot, you do your procedure in about 5-10 minutes it would take, and
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we're trying to make it as smooth and easy as possible for all kinds of students. Of course, it'll be different based on the city. Like for students in Delhi, of course, it could be a different experience to what they would have in Bombay. But if you check with your CF space, and they can help you understand what could be the best possible way to go.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. Of course, there are questions coming up, but I'm so sorry, like we cannot answer all the questions because of limited time. We are running out of time, but yes, my team will be more than happy to assist you. So stay in touch with your partner relationship manager, and they will answer all your questions as we have very limited time. So I would like to quickly wrap up this session with the closing remarks from our panelists. And I would like Mr. Rajit to please have his closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Avni. So it was indeed an interesting discussion because we had lots of different viewpoints and a very interesting panel with our excellent school representatives that we had. So the message is that yes, France is very much open. You know, we are very happy to send students. Indian students are welcome in France this year. We just have to invent a new way of living and manage with those kind of safe practices for the rest of the year. But with that in mind, we will be happy to go ahead, and we are happy to send students as soon as possible as well. So do not let go of your hopes, keep your hopes high, and keep your projects very much firm, and rely on your school managers and your international relations representatives who regularly interact with you and are your charges. They're your best resource when it comes to telling you about your school, their preparedness, and how they will wish to welcome you abroad as well. And very well, do not hesitate if you have questions. As I said, we're working, during the confinement as well, and we are reachable by digital means. So if you have a question, something you're concerned about how it's going to be when you arrive in France, is there a quarantine period? What practices should I be, aware about? Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Things change every few weeks. That's the sort of the purpose of this entire pandemic situation is for us to be aware, and that is what we need to keep in mind, and for us to be prepared to handle any kind of situation, because even if we arrive in France, we'll have to be vigilant for some time. So take that this is the new way of living for some time, and we have to live with it, and include these practices, because they're actually good practices for the rest of your life as well. Having good hygiene will help you always. So this is excellent for sure. But France is very much ready to welcome students and will be doing so. And when the visas do open up, we will proceed everything on priority. So that's our assurance from the embassy. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Rajit. I would request Mr. Shekhar to please have his closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you very much again, and we are here to welcome you. We are still recruiting because we have a master's program for October intake, and we have also proposed a January intake. Joining campus team is really, I'm well connected with them. Do not hesitate to reach out to them and ask your queries, and they will forward us your queries. Even you can reach out to us directly. There is no issue. We would be glad to help you with any queries that you have. We suggest you to stay safe and do not worry. Things are getting better, and you will have an opportunity to come to France very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I request Ms. Hang to please have her closing remarks.
Everybody join this webinar session with us. And thank you once again, joining campus to always provide very good consultant to all the students who are willing to apply to EZEP. And once again, I would like to mention about our solutions for this September intake students. So we provide online courses, we provide on-site courses. So if, let's say, you are able to join our on-site courses, so we will start our courses on the 7th September. And lastly, for students who may have some delays regarding their visas, regarding the flights arrangement and etc., they can join us anytime during the first semester. So they can follow the online courses first, and they can join us on October or November. What time? We are very flexible for the first semester. And don't worry about about the practical classes, we have, for this special intake, we shift all the technical classes to the second semester. So there is no issue for your practical classes. So you can take your time to settle down all your questions regarding the visa, regarding your flight arrangement and its from. And lastly, to assure you that for the Asian aspect, we will follow the French government's guidelines. So we will, yes, to make sure that the sanitary standard for all our students. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So I request Ms. Estelle to please have a closing remarks.
Yes, thank you, Avani, and thank you, joining, for organizing this this great webinar, and to be able to, it's great to be able to communicate about what we do here in France to welcome you as best as we can, and as Ms. Hong said, we anytime, like if you can't come in September, we will adapt. We will show flexibility to be able to welcome you as best as we can, as I said.
Thank you. And yes, I request Mr. Mishra to please have his closing remarks.
So again, I would like to thank all panelists who shared your experience, who shared your school details to associates. Thank you all attendees that, and I guess it has been a productive and informative session for you. Now you know that these quality schools have shown how your students will be and what the background and everything. I have one thing to say is choose France, and thank you very much.
So thank you all, and I would like to say, like, it was a very great session and we had a very great panel today. So once again, like, thank you very much to all the panelists, to all the attendees, and please, all your students, they are very much welcome to France, and all the safety measures they are taken. So please inform your students about that, and we are there here, all schools they are there, they are ready to help them. So insist your students that don't be afraid of anything, they are safe over there like they are here. So once again, thank you all of you for your time, and yes, have a nice day. Till then, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.